Hello and welcome to Combat Clash, where we watch the top 50 players in the world test their mettle and duke it out on the ranked arena to compete for that #1 spot and, more importantly, those delicious elo points. Today's match takes us to Dry Arabia, the oldie but a goodie, the most classic AoE map in the game. On the orange corner, we have Beastyqt playing the Golden Horde, and on the in the purple corner, we have May on the Delhi Sultanate. As far as I'm aware, our friend May here is a Delhi main through and through. So always looking to see what he's got, or what they have cooking for Delhi strats. Looking like this is going to be a fairly standard opening. A lot of sheep already picked up by May, 5 sheep. Meanwhile, looks like Beastie may be walking in the footsteps of our friend May's scout here. Not going to grab too many sheep at the moment. He's at 3 at the moment. Total of 7 maybe picked up. Nope, just 5 still for May. Golden Tent was built up very quickly. The timing isn't too important here, as long as it's before you have enough resources to start your age up. Golden Horde, one of the newest civs with the most recent DLC. They are similar-ish to the Beastyqt and Ibits, excuse me, in that they research their age up from a separate building. So the Golden Tent is Golden Horde's singular landmark aside from the capital town center. They are going to be able to select and tech up from the Golden Tent. What this unfortunately means for the Golden Horde is that they cannot speed up their techs, much like the Beastyqt and Ibits. Excuse me. So it's very important for them to get those research to start aging up as soon as they're able, because they are going to be waiting for a long time. Wheelbarrow already coming out and just about to be. Well, it's about halfway through, though we do have our efficient production. So this allows Delhi to garrison scholars into their military buildings and increase the production speed. It's very useful tech. One of the main features of Delhi here is that they receive all tech for free. They just research at a much slower rate. So all of these buildings, any building that can research a tech is and should be researching tech pretty much all the time until it's fully emptied out. So actually, sheep eventually more or less break even here. BC able to pick up quite a few, and does grab one that BC actually missed here. But it looks like we are just about sheeped out. Oh, a couple on the right side of the map, but I do believe a handful actually on the right side of the map here. That it looks like BC will be grabbing. Now, May actually walking in the footsteps here of Beastyqt, not going to find anything out here on this side of the map. Dome of the Faith, about halfway done upgrading. You can see here, still got over a minute on the Khan Torgud's feudal upgrade for the Golden Horde. This is pretty standard tech up for both players. Khan Torgud's just allows it's 20% cheaper Torguds, 20% cheaper Khan, and extra 30 health. Nothing to hate there. Definitely generally better than building carts, right? It gives 2 free military buildings and then 1 additional one on any age up, which is certainly good for tempo, but it's just really hard to beat out the efficiency and the really buff that this other one, Khan Torguds, provides those Torguds. As most everyone is familiar now with just the pain that this sort of front line can really achieve, just because it's so much quote unquote free military, right? They don't have to spend food. They don't have to spend gold. They just spend stone. Now, that being said, stone is a precious commodity for the Golden Horde. They have to be really mindful of what they're deliberate in what they're spending stone on, because all of their stone techs are pretty expensive in the stone department. Dome of the Faith is up, and we do have scholars being produced. I would expect to see them funneled into buildings until he has this sanctity tech, which is going, but we're still Yeah, still about 2 minutes away. This allows Delhi to capture sacred sites pre-Castle Age. I don't believe. Yeah, they still can't get relics until Castle, but the fact that they can capture these, secure these sites, gives them a lot of passive gold. And yeah, the sanctity also increases an extra 25% gold from sacred sites. Wall's already going up for Beastie here. A bit surprising, honestly. I wouldn't really be expecting too much pressure quite yet from May, though maybe he's just being mindful of the future Ghazis coming in, which we actually just already have 2 on the map. So you know, that's misspoke by me. Beastie definitely knows better than I do. Just wants to protect off, keep the back of his base safe, right? This cutting off this wall here, building off this wall here, just completely eliminates the option for May to just continuously harass this wood line from either side. Instead, he's forced to only come in directly through the TC, which you do not necessarily want to do. Torgoods and Batu Khan coming out. Gonna save this scout just in time. Good micro by Beastie to protect that scout down to 3 hit points. He was down to his last hit. Dudge managed to save it. A stable coming down for Beastie. So he is looking to match Ghazis against Horsemen and Torgoods. We'll see how many more Torgoods he opts to actually go for here. He is about to have enough to build some additional Torgoods. I did misspoke, by the way. Apologies. Torgoods do cost food. They just don't cost gold. All right. Ghazi's just looking to maybe see if they can get some damage on this Ovoo, but that is not going to work out in their favor. He really might need to consider swapping down to the lower side of the map, but a fortified outpost here is going to be very hard to remove at this point in the game. And I mean, really, Beastie playing a very strong defensive game at the moment, not allowing those Ghazis, just another notorious feudal horseman unit, right? Up there with the Sipahi. They're not really being given the opportunity to really get damage in here. And Beastie doing a very good job of just matching the Ghazi movement, protecting his eco as much as he can. 2 Keshiks actually coming out. See if he opts to continue building Keshiks. Looks like he is getting an archer range up as well, though. All right, sacred sites being captured here. All 3 are going to be captured shortly. Nobody looking to age up quite yet. Expect probably just see a continuous stream. Okay, so May opting for a barracks and stable build here. So he's going to be horsemen or Ghazis looking to deal with any potential range units as well as get economic damage down. Beastie forces hitting every sacred site. Just a couple of Keshiks or Torgoods and co. Looking to just kill off these scholars, not allow them these free caps. Northernmost Scholar does go down, and unfortunately right before that cap happened. So he actually does not get the capture. That being said, some additional units going to be coming to secure that here momentarily. May's forces do overall manage to push Beastie off of the sacred sites for the time being. More Keshiks coming out. And Golden Horde with this permanent double production, it can be slow, but once they start kind of snowballing that unit count, it gets dangerous very quickly for the opponent. 2 archer ranges up. So Beastie definitely looking to focus more on that backline and filling out that backline. But he does already have quite a few horsemen out on the map. Total of 8, 9, including the Khan. Batu Khan here, not like the normal Mongol Khan, right? They actually have I think it's an attack speed buff. Yeah. So at this point in the game, he's only getting a 10% damage buff that goes up to 20 and then 30%. But he also has your Batu Khan, as long as he has Torgood near him, all damage to the Khan will redirect to the nearby Torgoods. So the Khan is effectively invincible until you deal with the Torgoods. And I do believe the Khan does have... He has an arrow that he can use, but don't recall what it is quite at this moment. But outpost going to be attempt to be burned down here by Beastie, but Ghazi Raiders do come to save his villagers on these berries. Delhi is generally going to want to prioritize berries early on. They have an extra 100 food and they gather that food faster. But this is a nice little spot, a berry patch and some deer. So I would expect May to pretty vehemently defend this for the time being. More and more scholars being garrisoned in the Dome of the Faith increase that research speed. And I believe that research tech is global, if I recall. Yeah. All right. A lot of spearmen out and about, though. They are definitely going to be able to handle those Keshiks. And no age ups quite yet. Both players still fully committed to just duking it out in feudal at the moment. Archer mass is coming in for Beasty. And the spearmen at this point may be getting a little bit caught out of position. Ghazi Raiders actually not opting to come and cover them quite yet. Okay, Keshik does go down, but more and more spearmen are going down. And yeah, looks like May just doesn't want to commit to this fight. Opts instead to let those spearmen die. I wonder if that was the best choice. I think he could have maybe at least forced a slightly better trade in his favor, but he is rallying to this exposed portion of his base. He's got only the 5 villagers, so they will all be protected in the outpost. And clever wall here for May just does protect the rest of his base. Handful of Ghazis coming around, but BC's doing a very good job of dropping these outposts as he goes and expands further out onto the map. So May's not gonna be able to get any damage done quite yet. A bit of an engagement happening here. Some knights, Keshiks, do get caught out here. If he gets this around, it's gonna be a rough spot for Beasty. And he actually manages to capture the Batu Khan, gets this around, kills off the Khan. That is going to be some time and resources. It's only stone, but nevertheless, that's still 100 stone that he didn't really want to have to spend on replacing this Khan. All right, Mongol forces kind of taking over this map, just in presence. They are probably going to see some decaps of sacred sites. Still no age up, although it looks like May be considering it. He's got a whole lot of gold at the moment. Definitely more than he needs, as he's not really using it for anything other than teching up. And Beasty Raid coming in with some of these Keshik's Torgods. Decides to go against it. He definitely could, I think, just slip right in here. So it's he potentially could have gotten some decent damage off here, but decides against it. Spearmen coming to the north side of May's base, sees the danger those Keshik's horsemen pose, and opts to just set up for a potential defensive play. He doesn't have to worry about the center of his base as this wall is here, so he really only needs to keep forces on either side as long as he's only looking to play defensively. House of Learning is coming down, though, and double blacksmith being dropped for May, just so he can get his techs, all of his military techs up that much quicker. Again, all that Delhi research is free. It's just slow. So better to have multiple blacksmiths so you can have sort of double research production. Whole lot of villagers out on the map now for Beasty going to these deer packs, covering themselves with the fortified outposts. Not necessarily enough. We got 13 here and only 10 spots available. So if a raid does happen, there's a very real chance a handful of villagers do die. Not the worst thing, but we are up to 13 minutes and still no villagers killed by either side. May taking advantage of the Delhi unique traits, able to build palisade walls with his infantry. So he does not, he is able to get that up and running, just more fully protecting, I should say, his base and economy. And House of Learning, all of these techs getting queued up, going to be first going with the honed blades. This is men-at-arms and lancer damage. Scholar does get caught out. Beasty is looking for these scholars on the map that want to steal these relics, as we are still a full minute away from Castle Age for Beasty. One relic is going to get picked up. I imagine this relic is only a matter of time as well. Third relic, this is the Delhi's game, right? They love their scholars. They can build a ton of them for cheaper, especially with this only 80 gold instead of normal 100. 135, I should say, actually. Yeah, so scholars, a staple of the Delhi force. Already up to 3 relics captured. We'll see if he's able to snag the 4th. Definitely won't be getting this 5th. This one's squarely in the hands of Beasty, I would say. And I'd be kind of surprised. We could see a push out by May to try to capture this 4th relic, but he may decide it's just not really worth it. Oh, and May not going to spot out. Well, he will eventually, as he's also building a wall in this direction. Archer just coming to look to decap and reduce that passive gold income as much as he can. Gauzy Raiders running straight into the middle of Beastie's base, the only exposed position, and they're going to be able to run down these archers with little issue here. Oh, they are going to be able to surround and cut them off. They can't go anywhere. They're going to just force to make a last stand here. BC is going to get a handful of Gauzy Raiders here, but not enough. That's a lot of archers down the drain. Only 9 units out on the field for Beastie. There's a very, very large military force here by May. The numbers are inflated a little bit. There's 14 scholars. They do count as military. Still 9 to, roughly 30 military. These Gauzy just still sitting under this turret fire. Finally backing off now that the reinforcements are actually here. They are all very low, though, so they are going to have to go fully back to base and heal. Otherwise, risk just losing a very nice little chunk of raiders. Delhi walls are fully up and running. There is no way to cross the map for Beastie. His economy is fully protected, including 1 sacred site. I would expect, we'll see how May decides to go. He could definitely do a slow walk of making use of these just small gaps in the woodlines, medium gaps really in the woodlines, and just slowly force himself further onto the map. 2 sacred sites currently decapped. I don't think we actually have a monastery out yet no, we do. Prayer tent. Our first shaman second shaman, I should say. Missed the first one here. He's about to pick up one of his 2 designated relics. Delhi did very comfortably manage to take the other 3. All right, and actually Gauzy Raiders, along with Lancers now coming up, they might catch the shaman out. May is potentially looking to keep this relic for himself, but he is going to have to deal with these Keshiks first. Unfortunately, we're both at. Oof. They do see him. Gauzy Raiders running in, going to take that shaman down. He is not going to be able to make it there. Oh, or is he? Nope. Now, that being said, this relic is so close to his base that I don't really see a way for May to take that out from under his nose. Second sacred site being recaptured, as well as the third. We are back on the sacred site timer. Again, this timer really doesn't matter at this point. 10 minutes is a long time. It's not really till halfway before you see players really start to look to address the sacred site situation, right? Once you get under 3 minutes, then you're kind of getting in the danger zone. But okay, BC looking to collapse. Unfortunately, does not micro his horse line, and they run straight into that spear wall. Maybe just for economic reasons, but BC opting to fill some of his ranks back in with horsemen instead of Keshiks. Crossbowmen are out. And actually, that very, very well may have been the reason. Crossmen are very well equipped to handle any sort of heavily armored unit. And BC has some of his own. They're not going to be enough, though. There is a huge force here on the side of Delhi. And still replenishing them, coming out, new units coming out in the middle of the map. Some Delhi walls. Interested what the purpose here is. Maybe just to get this gate up so that he can sort of do a little micro shenanigans here if he has to run back and forth. But he burns down that outpost very, very quickly. Scholar getting chased around by a Torgun. But that Delhi tech, these scholars are fast as hell. They're actually outrunning the Torguns. So Scholar won't have too much of an issue here. BC looking to potentially try to break a hole in the wall somewhere. Excuse me. But we can see here the advantage of the Delhi tech, right? We're already at +2 on ranged attack and ranged armor. +2 for the others are coming in now. And we do have, I believe, one of my favorite techs in the game here. Or I'm not sure where he's researching this from, excuse me. Yeah, Force March. All right, this is a great little Delhi ability. Infantry units can move 100% faster. This is fantastic for performing flank surrounds. But man, right now May is just fully in control of the map here. He's pushed BC back into this corner. I would expect to see this Ovoo going down as well. At the moment, I think we actually only have a single Ovoo up. Really unfortunate situation for the Golden Horde to be in. They really want those multiple Ovoos. Take advantage of, Mongols only able to build a single Ovoo. Golden Horde can theoretically build as many as they want. If they take, which he did, right? If they take in Castle Age, the age up that allows them to build more Ovoos than the maximum count, they could, have as many as are on the map. But this is not a game where the Golden Horde at the moment is going to be able to take advantage of that. Yep, his only other Ovoo on the map right now getting burned down in short order. This is a tough situation for BC to be in. He's just not able to really get a large income of stone in, which is going to hamper him not only in terms of potential unit production with the Tor goods, but also techs, right? They rely, if they want to get that triple production on any military building, they have to invest a lot of money into it. It looks like he's already got the archery range. All right, worker count is staying pretty even. May's only managed to snipe a few villagers, but there is just such a force here for Delhi. These Keshiks, Batu Khan gonna get caught out. There's nowhere for them to go here. These crossbowmen just gonna snipe them down one at a time. And we have walls going up on two. This is why I love seeing that. Seeing the one triggers and the mains coming out. Delhi walls coming up, blocking off two potential Ovoos here. And BC looking to just try to get some stem the bleeding a little bit. It takes two Keshiks, or horsemen rather, just trying to decap some of these sacred sites. And Delhi walls coming up everywhere, just trying to just annoy Golden Horde anywhere he can here. All right, are these Lancers going to catch this Shaman? They actually don't. He's got his attention in a little too many spots at the moment. He's not going to catch that Shaman, but he is just going straight for these villagers on all of these stock guards. Does manage to get a few more, up to 6 villagers killed. And we are down to the 6 minutes on the Sacred Site victory counter here. But BC has broken through the southern wall and is going to be decapping this. We may see a push off of this, but it might be too late. Okay. Couple horsemen here looking to try to sneak by. Delhi walls are coming up, but it is not fast enough. We may, now, unfortunately, these are horsemen and they are not Keshik, so they're not going to be able to really burn down villagers. Maybe he's just looking to get as much information as he can. Huge crossbowman ball here for Beasty. Going to be able to work on these Lancers, but archers are in the back line. And they are going to be more cost efficient at the very least, but there are a lot of ranged units here. 23 versus 10. These archers definitely going to go down here. Opts to sacrifice them for the greater good. Get a little bit of damage in. And yeah, this is just a really, okay, Ovoo going down again. And this time, that stone outcropping is now gone. So he no longer has the ability to, maybe he can't. I feel like it's, okay, well, actually, I might have misspoke. No, he is able to rebuild it. So it's still at 0, but he is at least able to rebuild and continue that stone production. I actually have not seen that quite yet and wasn't sure if they could do that. A little engagement here. Lancers going to go down. BC's just he's building up this little death ball here. Got a whole lot of crossbowmen, 39 crossbowmen. So forcing May to switch off of those Lancers as seems quite comfortable doing so. Switches back to Ghazis. Wall coming up just in time for Beasty, or for May. I don't know how much this is going to really delay anything, though. There's a very large force here. Builders do get picked off very quickly. Gate goes down. Does May have enough here to stop this? Doing a very good job of defending the other sacred sites, but Beasty is just looking to get a decap. We're down to 4.5 minutes, under the halfway point. Ovoo's coming out as Beasty pushes out onto the map, looking to get at least continue as much as he can his stone income. He's got a total of 3 up and running now, but we can see another Ghazi. Once again on these Ovoos, he's just doing everything he can to delay the stone army as much as possible. Beasty looking this time to push in the middle of the middle of the map, breaks through the wall. There is a lot of villagers, not too far here. It's going to be his farm line and gold mine here are in danger, but May does adjust, moves his army to protect this. It's still a fairly small gateway for him to get in through here. And okay, horseman army going a little bit too far to the right here. Archers may be getting caught out. Yep, that's a lot of horsemen and Keshiks. Okay, looking for a quick Woolulu. Oh, and that scholar gets sniped instantly. This is a big force, and they're very well protected here in between all of these buildings. Okay, war elephants have made their appearance, and they are, I think just these two are not going to be enough. There's a very big backline for Beasty. Villagers going to protect themselves inside these houses. Another Woolulu attempt gets dropped once again very quickly. Looks like May is going to be able to clean up this fight and actually does not succeeds in avoiding every single point of villager damage. No villagers killed. Up to 11 now dead for Beasty, and we can see that in the villager count difference here. You know, one of the fantastic bonuses of Delhi infantry being able to build walls like this is that he doesn't have to sacrifice villagers to do it. And that's not only both the villagers themselves, but also all their like economy time, right? Time on resources. So yeah, he's just gonna finish up this wall. He's just at this point, we are 2 minutes 45 seconds away from a military victory or a sacred site victory, and there is almost no military out on the map right now for Beasty. This is looking like a strong Delhi game. It's going to be a tall order if Beasty wants to turn this game around and actually secure a win here. There's just so many units on the field, and with all these Ghazi as well, up to 17 at the moment, they can get around the map. And you know, right now we still have a fully protected battering ram goes up for May. Not interested in dealing with these Ovoos, but with only a handful of archers, he's not going to be able to torch it. Decides to just get a ram up. Beasty units looking to decap these sacred sites are just getting picked off one by one. Ghazi's raiding the base. Again, not picked up any villagers yet, but they are just looking to disrupt the eco. Anything they can do to slow down, every second counts at this point. There's only 2 minutes left. We do have Imperial Age up now for May with a whole lot of Imperial techs coming out. Does opt for the Hisar Academy, right? This is effectively a free university. This opts for incendiary arrows first. Not that I think it's going to matter. It looks like we have 7 minutes before this tech is finished, and we are down to only 1 minute and 50 seconds left. Archers are going to be able to handle this horseman. Maybe not the best, but with one extra Ghazi, there won't be any issue protecting that. BC coming out onto the map for gold. He's so starved here for anything other than food and wood. It's just a really rough situation for him to be in. Delhi May has done a fantastic job of controlling the map. Still has these extra additional Ovoos walled off, not allowing anything. All right, more walls coming up for the sacred sites. And he's just looking, all May needs to do at this point is just continue to defend. He doesn't have to worry about killing villagers. He has a 20 vill advantage already. There's no concern for him. Up to 24 villagers killed now. Just these. It took him a while to get the vill raids going, but once he did, he's just done a very good job of defending. Beasty making a last-ditch attempt, coming out here, dropping some fortified outposts, trying to get some extra damage and that edict up. These archers are not going to be enough to make a difference, slow the tide. But we have May keeping a small force to protect top sacred sites walled off. Just needs to protect this middle one, and otherwise just needs to force a win here. As long as he can get his units back on the sacred site, he will stop the cap. There is a lot of archers here, not a lot of crossbowmen, and these are all Keshiks. They're not going to be able to do the damage they need. And is he actually? No. Okay, War Elephant and a Lancer coming in directly out of May's base. More elephants on the way, and he actually manages to decap it. Wow, I'm really surprised. I thought for sure he was going to be able to stop that. Sacred Side counter is done. He could definitely retake this, but he's got to wait a whole another 10 minutes, and we're already at the 30-minute mark. Now, at this point, May might look to really try to find some way to end the game. Imperial Age is up for both players now. Hand Cannoneers are out and about, but only in very small numbers. They are definitely the right choice to handle these huge elephants. They get a whole lot of damage, 38 damage. It's about the best that you're going to get for these big guys. May is now just looking to sort of shove Beasty back into his base. That was a fantastic push by Beasty here. Seconds away from losing. If he had not managed to decap that just in time, that War Elephant and Ghazi had been even a little bit faster, this would have been a win for May. Fortunately for Beasty, he has survived and is now he's still in a very rough spot. He's down quite a few villagers here. 37 villagers now killed for May. And yeah, these Ghazis, these Lancers, just continuing to be able to just get in on this huge food line. All of his food income is just situated right around his TC. These couple of outposts, not enough to protect. We're looking at just a ton of villagers here, and more Ghazis coming in, picking off even more villagers. Every villager is so important at this point in the game. There is just not enough resources on the map for Beasty. He has so little room to breathe right now, and Ghazi is probably looking to start burning some holes in this wall. We've already got one up here, but actually no actual villagers to speak of. But this does allow just one more avenue for May's Ghazi Raiders to just sneak in and continuously harass the economy of Beasty. They're going to go down here, but not before they got another 5 or so villagers. Beasty looking to get a raid done of his own here, but these Delhi walls are just continuously maintained, continuously replaced, even when holes pop up. And this is potentially looking like a very dangerous spot to be in for a large chunk, about half of Beasty's army here. They have nowhere to go. They're practically fully walled off, only one way out, and they are running straight into some more of May's forces. Hand Cannoneers are going to get caught out as they were chasing a bit too much, too large of a force here. But we are getting more and more Hand Cannoneers coming out for both players. But May is definitely just looking to focus those Hand Cannoneers for his backline now, instead of swapping between archers and crossbowmen, which he can definitely afford to do. And more Ghazis, whole lot of Ghazis here in Beasty's base, just killing off. Doesn't really matter if they die. Every villager killed is a win for him here. Up to 52 villagers. We're almost at double the vill count now for May. This just kind of feels like a stranglehold right now. And May looking to get some stone up. Very likely going to start dropping some keeps to just be that much more annoying on these sacred sites. We have not seen the sacred site victory come back in. And May just commits to fully walling off the last of these Keshiks from escape. Nowhere for them to go. They are all just going to get gunned down one by one. I mean, look at this map. There are just walls everywhere. Just sections of walls just blocking a rewalling from BC. I mean, fantastic use of Delhi's unique mechanics here. Whole lot of elephants. We've got 5 war elephants coming up the middle of the map. Going to be doing what they can to siege down these outposts. But right now, they're a little bit too far out of position. Hand Cannoneers do a fantastic job of burning them down. And we even have a bombard out. Should it get away on the other side of the map before it's too late. Some Hand Cannoneers of May's own coming in, looking to shred. Okay, and there is the GG. Wow, that was a great game. Fantastically played by May. Just was able to maintain, for the most part, that map control. Just didn't really allow Golden Horde to ever really, really get started, right? Constantly forcing down those Ovoos. Just constantly just maintaining, keeping BC contained into such a small corner of the map where, May was just able to fully take advantage of everything that Delhi has to offer. All their unique mechanics. Very, very well played. GG again to May for the win. And thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Combat Clash. If you were itching for another round, take a look at some of our most recent clashes just over to your left. And of course, if you'd like to see more of this content, do be so kind as to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. So long, and I will see you next time for another round of Combat Clash.